Hi, everybody. I'm Bryan Mudd, a fan of South Plains politics. Here's your talking points for this week. COVID economic recovery is a priority for lawmakers this year, of course. We'll talk to some local folks benefiting from one of the governor's shutdown decisions that may become permanent. And politics aside, why this week's inauguration just meant a little more to many women and local ladies of color.
From the studios of KAMC Television in Lubbock, your local election headquarters. This is Talking Points with Bryan Mudd.
Thanks for joining us, everybody. Also this week, the short honeymoon. New presidents historically get most of their top priorities done in their first year. It's when they have their most political clout. But with the political climate the way it is lately, you get the feeling President Biden may not get much of a honeymoon. Everyone said all the right things after the inauguration, but Republicans turned right around in a hurry when he started signing executive orders, including the end of the Keystone XL pipeline, connecting Canadian oil with Houston refineries, and the rejoining of the Paris Climate Accords, which, as KAMC's Amy Kazera found out, has divided folks yet again.
The cost to our country, to our economy, to jobs, and to regions like West Texas would be tremendous.
Congressman Jody Arrington pushing back against the decision to join the Paris Climate Accord.
They're going to get higher energy prices. We're going to lose jobs in West Texas and in rural communities like West Texas. And it's going to compromise our energy independence, which is a pillar of our nation's security.
But scientists say the changes won't be as damaging as some think.
There's a lot of misunderstandings with the agreement. First of all, nobody's forcing the U.S. to do anything. The U.S. promised what it would do.
And that promise is to achieve net zero carbon emissions by 2050. Renowned climate scientist and tech professor Dr. Katherine Hayhoe was in Paris when the agreement was first signed. She says it's about time the U.S. follows through.
If the United States meets its Paris Agreement targets, it will start saving money in terms of impacts avoided within a decade or so.
With growing renewable energy in West Texas, Dr. Hayhoe says there's already a lot of research being flooded into solutions that could help our farmers, who could otherwise be devastated by the long-term impacts of climate change, like droughts. And while some disagree on how to do so, reducing carbon emissions will take innovation on all sides.
We should steward our environment. I want not only a safer, stronger, and freer nation, I want cleaner water and cleaner air for our children. I think that is incumbent upon all leaders of this great nation. But we have seen America lead through innovation, not regulation.
Amy,
all right, so reasons for energy producers to maybe watch with some concern. What about our cotton producers? Massive part of the economy, and our friend Steve Verrett lobbies hard for cotton interest all the time. It is good to see you again, sir.
Good to see you as well, Brian.
Let's start with where we are today. Cotton prices have been stronger recently, and that's always good news. What's the projections now for prices and crop and demand here in 2021?
Well, we've seen definitely a pickup in prices for really all commodities, but cotton as well, mainly in the last 3 weeks or since the first of the year. We're coming off a not so great cotton crop for the whole U.S., but certainly for the high plains of Texas as well. It's going to be probably our second or third lowest crop since the 2011 drought that we had. So prices look a lot better. That's encouraging. That'll help because of crop insurance prices will be set by the futures market in the month of February. So that'll help give a little assurance to farmers and bankers going forward. But as you know, Brian, the biggest influence in whether we make a crop or not is what happens with our rainfall. And we're starting off the year kind of normal, but we went into the first of the year significantly below normal and in a pretty bad drought.
And with all that in mind, what do we need to be looking for in Washington now? Are there any tea leaves to read yet about what the changes in control of Congress and control of the White House mean for farming interest and cotton in general?
Well, certainly it's our job here to work with whoever's elected. That's just the way that's the nature of the beast. And luckily for agriculture, those issues tend to be a little bit more bipartisan. In recent years, maybe not as much as what they were 15 or 20 years ago, but still, it's a bipartisan effort. So, not only do we have whether it's Republican or Democrat control, but from our area of Texas anyway, as you know, we're going to have 2 brand new congressmen in our area with August Pfluger in District 11 and Dr. Ronnie Jackson in District 13. And Jody will be starting his 3rd term. So we think we're going to be able to work, and it's our job to try to help inform and educate members of Congress about the importance of agriculture to this region, specifically for us, cotton, but agriculture in general. And so, we're going to continue to do that. One good news that, has come out in the last 2 or 3 weeks is it looks like that Tom Vilsack is going to be appointed as the new Secretary of Agriculture. We worked with Secretary Vilsack in the Obama administration, and he was a good Secretary of Agriculture. We had a good relationship with him and his staff and with the whole USDA. So that's a known that we know, that we believe we're going to be able to continue that relationship and have good working relationships with him.
Yeah, that was my next question. I'm glad that you feel like you can do some things there. I know we talked about you were in front of a lot of lawmakers about all this and have been for years. Has the pandemic been changing how you do that? Have you been able to do anything at all reasonably face-to-face in a while?
No, not really. I mean, it's kind of like what we're doing with this interview today. We're doing a lot of virtual meetings, and we can do that. We'll do what we have to do, but this is a relational business that we have, and sooner or later, for us to be as effective as we need to be, we gotta have some face-to-face time with staff as much as anything. Certainly members, we get the chance when they come home, but we don't just work with our 3 congressmen. We try to reach out to members of Congress from all over the United States that have an interest in agriculture. So yes, it's made it more difficult. It really has. But we're hopeful that within the next 3 to 4 months, things will begin to moving back to some more semblance of normal. But, it's a little bit like what happened after 9/11. Things never got back to exactly the way they were before. And I don't see things getting back exactly like they were before anytime soon, and maybe not ever, but certainly we hope it's going to be something more similar to normal, where we can have those face-to-face meetings and get in front of those folks personally.
And certainly we'll have to do that at some point here when we talk about reworking the Farm Bill yet again. That won't, it's just off the horizon here. Do you think about a wish list for that yet, or you just hope to keep things as they are? What do you think about that?
Well, certainly we're always going to be looking to try to make improvements. I always say that farm bills are not revolutionary, they're evolutionary. We tend to try to look at what's working well and maybe make some improvements, and those things that aren't working, to change those as well. The basis of this farm bill, the features of it, we believe are good, but it's just, as time goes on, when things don't adjust maybe for inflation or cost of production things, you have to look at ways to improve and to keep up with the cost of production and inflation. So we're always looking at ways we can improve crop insurance and make it work better. And then as well, the safety net, trade issues. We're going into a little bit of uncharted territories from what we've been experiencing over the last 4 years to a little different, certainly commander-in-chief and ideas they may have, but trade is critical to us, and we need to make sure that those things continue to grow as well.
Well, in the meantime, we'll pray for rain, and we'll be thankful for the good work of Steve Verrett and everybody at Plains Cotton Growers. Good to talk to you again, my friend. We'll talk soon.
Absolutely. Thanks, Brian.